Twitch, this is actually really smart of them. I found out why they unbanned me. So they didn't know how to solve the problem with like all of this like, you know, anti-Semitism and like, you know, racial hatred and, you know, like calls for genocide. Who would do something like that? And so but they didn't know what to do. And so they unbanned me so I could solve the problem for them. And I did. Remember a few days ago whenever I said they needed to create a new category for everybody so that they are, what do you call it? They need to create a new category for everybody so that they're not like, basically like they're not showing ads next to like a travel stream and then the same ads are getting shown next to something else. Yeah, Dan's listening, right? Yeah, so they unbanned me so they could, you know, pretty much know what to do in the future. Very, very smart, epic gamer decision for Twitch. So Twitch will soon launch a content classification label for politics and sensitive social issues. Creators who create this content must label their streams. Viewers can hide this content. Advertisers can opt out of ads running on this type of content. So they literally took my idea. Like, to be honest with you, I didn't know that they could run ads against classifications. I thought they could only do it against categories because Amazon's ad system is garbage. But apparently it's not quite as garbage as I thought it was. And it looks like they're doing effectively my exact fucking plan. This is exactly what I wanted to see them do, and it looks like they're doing it. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good, boys. How about that? Somebody, oh boy, a slider to hide the anti-Semitism instead of doing something about it. He says while he's on Twitter, oh yeah, let's ban everybody. I'm sorry guys, but I've seen more Adolf enjoyers on Twitter than every other social media platform put together. So yeah, am I the secret CEO of Twitch? I'm the shadow CEO, I guess. So yeah, I mean, I don't know really what we're talking about with this, but, and thanks Musk, well, it's freedom of speech. I support freedom of speech. I don't want to see anybody get banned, right? And so anyway, it looks like they're going to have these classifications. So I'm going to read you what Twitch has said themselves. We launched content classification labels last year to give you more control over the communities you build and give viewers more control over the content they watch. This is a lie. They are completely lying here. They created content classification labels so they could make sure that advertisers don't have their content shown by things that would make them leave. So that's the real reason why it was created. Today, we're creating a new CCL to label streams that include discussions or debates about politics or sensitive social issues so that viewers can decide whether they want to engage with this kind of content. This type of label is common across the industry and can help advertisers better align their ads with content that reflects their brand values. Now, what are these brand values? Brand values, virtue signaling about LGBT in countries where it's already accepted, having slave labor create cheap electronics, having people live inside of sweatshops where they're locked inside overnight with nets in between different stories so they don't kill themselves, having things that put people's lives in danger like lead in their products. So we want to make sure that this is a pro-lead, pro-sweatshop, pro-cobalt mine stream, okay? Because we want to make sure that we're getting all the advertisements from Samsung, Nike, Adidas, and Apple, right? So yes, absolutely, we are very, very pro-sweatshop, pro-third world, pseudo-slave labor, big W. Hopefully we keep those ads. And so anyway, for more details when you should apply these politics and sensitive social issues, check out the content classification guidelines. I'll read that later. Doesn't really matter. So we'll go to the second one. And this is obviously the classifications, boring sexual themes, etc. So is this a good idea for Twitch to do? Well, of course it's a good idea. It was my idea. So obviously it was good. So yes, Twitch decided to do this. This is a very good way of solving the problem. And I think it basically allows people to preserve their freedom of speech, while at the same time being able to, not necessarily put everybody else's accounts at risk for advertising revenue. So, you're welcome, Twitch. You're welcome. If you want to, pay me for this, I'm not going to stop you. But yes, it looks like that's what's happened. Somebody says in chat, Kamala Harris is a terrorist. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Hope you're having a good day. Anyway, so let's go back over. We'll read a few more of these. They make a whole new rule to protect our bias values rather than just admit what's going on is fucking insane. Well, they didn't just make a whole new rule. They made a whole new post. Dan Clancy came out today, and he made a statement regarding the situation. So let's take a look at it. Politics and social issues. So let's see if I'm going to have to put this category on. Streams featuring former or current political officials if the content includes discussions with these individuals around public policies. Wow. So basically all politics discussion is going to be effectively getting demonetized. That's really crazy. All public policy discussion gets demonetized. Wow. Live coverage or commentary on elections, civic processes, or election-related disputes. Let's see here. Live streams of protests, rallies, or civil unrest related to civil rights issues or government policies. Discussing military conflicts, foreign policy decisions, or national security matters. Okay. Discussing ideological or socio-political views on topics like gender, race, sexuality, or religion. Discussing legislation related to sensitive social issues such as reproductive rights, that's abortions, LGBTQ rights, or immigration. So, I think that this is the best solution that Twitch could do. Realistically, this is the best solution. I can't think of another solution that they could go with that wouldn't involve banning a bunch of people. Do you think this will introduce nudity to Twitch? No, we're probably not going to get meat spam for another 5 years, sorry to say. But no, and again, whenever they do add nudity on Twitch, VTubers will still get banned for wearing bikinis. So I wouldn't get too excited. But yeah, of course that's going to happen to an extent. Isn't everything political to some degree? No, the only people that say that everything is political are people that are trying to muddy the waters so they can insert their own social politics into issues where they don't belong. Not everything is political. That's a ridiculous thing to say, and if you make such a level of an abstraction like that, you effectively paint with a broad brush that the terminology is irrelevant and you're creating a pointless conversation. So, no, I don't agree with that policy. I don't agree with that perspective. I know a lot of people have it. I think they're wrong. Anyway, so this is what the category is. Here we go. This is the big one. Twitch, 3 hours ago, came out with a statement condemning hate and harassment. You thought it wasn't going to happen. It turns out that Twitch is actually against hate and against harassment. We're going to take a look. How brave. I know. Stunning, brave. It's a shining example for all of us. Let's take a look at what they're saying. Dan Clancy tweets this out. I wanted to share a blog post on the Twitch blog. I want to make clear that Twitch stands firmly against hate and harassment of any form. You can read more about our commitment to safety and belonging to Twitch right here. So, boilerplate statement. Now, some people might not be familiar with the term boilerplate. If you work in any sort of a company that does any sort of contract law or does any sort of contracting at all, you'd know what this is. Like, boilerplate is ChatGPT from 10 years ago, basically, right? And so, yeah, copy-paste shit. That's basically where we're at. It's a meal at Golden Corral? No, if it was, then I would have already signed up for partner program. Anyway, hate and harassment have no place on Twitch. All right, guys, we had a good run. We had fun. You know, these past couple of years have been great. But, as they say, all good things come to an end. This might just be my last stream. I'm sorry. Real bad. Yeah, let's kick it. Ooh, how about that? Okay, let's go ahead and read it. To the Twitch community, over the past few weeks, we've seen members of the community voice concerns about how we handle potentially harmful content. There is no place for Twitch for racism, hatred, or harassment of any kind, including anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. So basically, including Hassan and Asmongold. As our community has grown, we've endeavored to build community guidelines to prohibit these harms. And so anyway, Twitch is and always will be about belonging. Each day, people come together on our own servers to build communities around shared interests and express themselves authentically. For this to be possible, we work hard to ensure that our community is a safe space. So, I think, like, so... Well, let me finish it. Let me finish it. I don't want to go too far. Let's go ahead and let's finish it. Then we'll go from there. And so anyway, our community guidelines are foundational. And when we find content that breaks those rules, we take immediate enforcement action. This will always be the case. Millions of streamers with a wide variety of views and perspectives spend time on Twitch. We recognize that some content, while allowed on our service, may be objectionable to some members of our community. The views shared by streamers on Twitch are not the views of Twitch, nor are they my personal views. So he's basically saying, you know, suck a dick, cry a river, build a bridge, get the fuck over it. Some people aren't going to agree with you. Thank God. I fucking agree with that. I'll tell you something. Yeah, abso-fucking-lutely. Yep. How can you be inclusive but build specific communities? Well, it was simple. We did it all the time back in the 60s. It was separate but equal. And so, you know, I probably should dial these down. You know, I probably really need to stop. I'm gonna get suspended again. I'm really gonna get in trouble. Metropoliticals, yeah, but that was I thought it was a good one, right? Anyway, so ready to chill. Yeah, I'm just having a little bit of fun. Oh shit. Give me a minute. And what do you plan for your have planned for your next time off? Well, I want to, you know, I'm gonna replay Dragon Age, right? You know, I have to like, in order to get unbanned next time, I'll have to fully 100% a woke game, right? Whether it's you know, Dustborn or Dragon Age. Anyway, so we'll look at the rest of this. We're grateful for the feedback and input from our community. Our safety approach continues to build and evolve as our service grows. We want to ensure that everyone can find their place on Twitch and remain committed to ensuring that hate and harassment have no place here. Dan Clancy, Twitch CEO. So let's go ahead and read some of the responses to this. Now, I think that... now, this is my opinion. There is a good chance that Dan felt like he had to put this out because of advertisers. Personally, I think all this does is put gasoline on a fire. I think it's a bad call to make a statement like this because hate and harassment have no place on Twitch. Now you are creating a narrative where hate and harassment and Twitch are in the same sentence. You're the CEO, right? It's like pretty simple. You know, like one thing that that Trump does really well is that Trump never capitulates to any degree about like basically like the Puerto Ricans thing. Like Trump was like, you know, Puerto Ricans are saying it was insensitive. Oh, I love the Puerto Ricans. Nobody's done more for Puerto Ricans than I have. Puerto Ricans love me. I've never seen a Puerto Rican that wasn't voting for Trump, right? And so like the way that he does that, and I'm not like, we're not trying to glaze Trump, but you have to respect the, you know, the, what do you call it? The ability to create a narrative, right? And so if you do that, it's harder for people to like draw that connection, right? It's manipulation, exactly. Yeah, you got to respect the hustle, the gaslighting, whatever you want to call it. So whenever you put a statement out like this and you're saying these kinds of things, I think what ends up happening in a lot of cases is that these people are like, oh, really? Well, what is all this hate and harassment on Twitch? So like you effectively, you know, you fucking, what's the word for it? You expand the influence of it, right? So yeah, I'm Puerto Rican. What did he say? Just some asshole comedian made a joke that a lot of Puerto Ricans got offended by. Not really too big of a deal, but yeah, it was a popular topic 2 or 3 days ago. Nothing really to talk about today. So yeah. Anyway, Dan Clancy says, I want to make it clear that Twitch stands firmly against hate. This is the first response.
This by any means telling us that we are all positive. You will see the conflict.
This also ratioed him, of course. What a surprise. Dan Saltman. Yeah, Dan has been really going hard about this, right? So what was the reason for ignoring thousands of people sharing Frogan's clip just over her ban a day later for her to be banned for something unrelated? This is a very, very, very fair question. why is it that Frogan, who wished that veterans got PTSD, why did she not get banned for that and she got banned for the TwitchCon thing? Because if you read Twitch's terms of service, veterans are an explicitly stated protected group of people that you can't say bad stuff about. So this is, again, this is a very, very fair question, a very fair criticism. This is the reason why I think it happens. I thought she did get banned. It's complicated. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, Casey-tron, of course, thank you for not being wavered by hateful misinformation spreading. Freaks trying to create a false narrative in the comments already. If they cared so much about hate speech, they wouldn't be fans of the people that they are already fans of. Thank you, Casey-tron. We'll put that comment in the garbage where it belongs. Anyway, let's look at what everybody else is saying. Will you please give an example how Twitch has stood firmly against hate? I've noticed your favorite streamer. This is Hassan. This is always about Hassan. If I didn't get banned, people would be spamming about me. This is just what's going to happen. It's selective enforcement. Exactly. And so people are unhappy about this. I don't want anybody to get banned. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I don't think anybody should get banned. But if you have these rules, you have to apply them evenly. And it is fair for people to call out Twitch that has made a habit. I think it is very obvious. Honestly, I know a lot of people don't like Hassan. So you guys might get mad with what I'm about to say. I do not even think Hassan is in the top 5 bad actors on Twitch for people that are saying things that should get them banned. I don't think that he's even in the top 5. Hard disagree? No. Now, he's the most popular. He is the most popular. However, like, for example, I'll give you one example. And, you know, we can go into this more, but I'll give you one example. The guy that paused the video, and then he was saying how people should kill Destiny, and extremely heavily implying it, and then saying that he didn't care if people that were like parents of slave owners, and then he implies that Destiny's parents were slave owners. Like, in my opinion, I think that's really, that was weird. That's super, like, that's worse, in my opinion, than anything that Hassan has said. That's my, because it's an immediate, explicit, like, call to violence towards an individual in real time. And like, I think that's, look, and if you don't agree with what Hassan's saying, that's fine. I'm just saying that there are people that are doing even worse stuff. That's all my point is. Denims put a bounty on you? Denims did not put a bounty on me. I rewatched the clip. That's actually not true, but it could have been interpreted that way. She said that she would up the bounty on Mark Kern from $20,000 to $30,000, which I also, by the way, think is way worse than anything Hassan said, because it is once again a call to action. And I think that should be instantly fucking bannable. So yes. And so that's my point, okay? And something has to be done, right? And so both are bad, doesn't matter. That's fine. I don't want to go, I don't want to play the, I don't want to play the terrorism Olympics here. Okay, we're not going to try to play the TOS Olympics. I'm just sharing my opinion and my viewpoint on it, and where I stand on it personally, and what I think is accurate. That's really all it comes down to. If you have a different tier list for terrorism, then you're entitled to that. That's just my opinion. Anyway, my point is that with a lot of these other people, they also didn't get banned. I think that Twitch is selectively enforcing things based off of different content creators whose values or identity aligns with things that Twitch is naturally more likely to take a degree of sympathy towards. That's what I think is actually happening. That's my opinion. That's why I think that's exactly what's happening. I think that some people are basically getting priority treatment because of that. So yeah. And personal opinion of employees. Yes, by Twitch you mean sponsors? No, I'm talking about Twitch employees making decisions or not making decisions. Like, for example, like a Twitch employee, like one of the leaks was that they called me a Dr. Disrespect apologist. That's insane. It's absolutely insane that somebody would even assert that that's a possibility. Why didn't platforms feel so politically biased 10 years ago? The reason why is because all of this happens because of advertisers. Do you think Twitch actually cares about racism? You used to be able to say the homophobic F word back on Twitch 10 years ago. You used to be able to say the N word probably 12 years ago on Twitch. So what's the difference? Why are people not able to say those words now? I'll tell you why. It's because of the advertisers. That's the reason why it's happening. It's all because of the advertisers. So yeah, to make a category for that. Oh, an N-word category? Yeah, that'd be a great idea. And anyway, call it kick. And so anyway, we'll go ahead. Can't say gay slurs anymore. No, it's really not as popular right now. And so Twitch doesn't really care about these issues, or they would have launched the platform with these issues being against the rules proactively. Twitch's enforcement, and this is the problem with Twitch's enforcement. All of Twitch's enforcement it's reactionary. And what I mean by Twitch's enforcement being reactionary is that every single time that somebody gets banned or something bad happens, it's always as a result of negative feedback, negative press, negative criticism. Very rarely do people do something bad and then it doesn't get a lot of press and then they get banned for it. Very frequently, people do something that's problematic, it gets a lot of attention on social media, and then Twitch bans somebody over it. And what does that tell me? That tells me that their main priority with these things is not necessarily in terms of banning people based off of certain actions. It's banning people based off of certain responses. And again, that's just a very cynical, a very reactionary, and a very fundamentally unfair way of running a system, right? Twitch is never proactive, just like a lot of corporations. Yes, exactly. And so that's really where the criticism comes from. Anyway, we'll look at a few more of these here. Content classification label, hate and harassment. So almost every single one of these, Dan obviously responded to this again. This is, the non-Twitch, the other Dan. I'm going to go 30% harder today than I normally was going to, just because of this statement. Fuck all of you anti-Semitic fucks with your nothing burger statements. Clancy steps down, non-negotiable. Why are TOS violating streamers not permabanned? Platitudes with no actions, to be honest. Son not banned. A lot of people are calling for Son to get banned. It's very, very popular. And so this is probably, I think this is going to get worse. And I think that unless Twitch felt like they had to make this statement based off of advertisers, all they did is they put gasoline on a fire. And I think that it will come back and have a negative effect on them. I think this was a bad strategic decision from Twitch to say this. And all it does is it amplifies another platform that people can express their frustration with. So I'll go ahead and I'll read some comments about this, etc. They're making a new political category? Not exactly. They're making a new geez, I just put the words together. A political classification label, not a category. You created this? Yeah, it's kind of my bad. Like, I didn't really mean to do that, right? I mean, like, I was just kind of doing whatever. Like, I wasn't, I mean, it's, I didn't really, wasn't going to try and do this. Play the video. It's just a video of Assange saying things that are objectionable, right? It's not, I mean, like, we've seen them already. And so, yeah. And Dan Can't Stream just wants something to be mad about this. If he wasn't mad about this, he'd be mad about something else. That's nice, but, like, why don't you just try to engage with the context of the argument? And so anyway, that's really kind of the way that I see it. If you look at, for example, look at some of the LSF posts, Just Chatting 2.0, race tier lists are back on the menu, boys. Pools, hot tubs, beaches, and politics. They made a category for Hassan. Guess this is why no political streamers have been able to run ads for the past week. It was all telling different cope stories on why no ads play. I don't think that's... Were there other political streamers besides Hassan that weren't playing ads? Why is it zoomed in so much? I actually don't know. Yeah, who? They're all banned? Yeah, I feel like every other one got banned. Yeah, he's the only one. And so I'm not sure. Control zoom out. No, I know that, but like we're just going through one and another. So yeah, a lot of people are being critical of this, which is really of no surprise to anybody. Will people use it or just continue to be on just chatting? This person didn't read the comments. Advertisers probably don't want their ads playing next to streams promoting hate, common sense stuff. Yep, obviously. And so that's pretty much what's going to happen. What do you guys think about this? I'll read some comments from chat. Why do you think that Pokimane, Ray, Ludwig, and Moist Critical haven't spoken up about this issue? So like you're not really asking me that question. You're telling me, validate my opinion that there's some streamer LA cabal of people that are trying to defend Hassan. That's what you're asking me. That's what you're asking me, right? You know this, I know this, everybody knows this, of course, right? Okay. The truth is that a lot of them just don't like talking about, like, sensitive political issues. Remember last time? Dude, Ludwig... Ludwig said that he didn't want to support, you know, publicly, like, Israel or Palestine, but he privately donated $10,000, and somehow he still got hate for it. If you're Ludwig, do you want to make a video about this? I fucking don't. Absolutely no. Like, yeah, he tried. Listen, he tried to play both sides, and when you're in the middle of the road, you get hit coming both ways. So yeah, no, how people found out, I don't know. Cracker take, yeah, remember that one? And there it is. And also, by the way, that also wasn't a ban. That immediately was not, that was not a ban. That should have been, I'm sorry to say, that should have been a ban. It should have been an insta ban. It's that simple. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I want you guys to understand this. And I'm not doing this because I'm biased. I'm doing it because I'm unbiased. Or at least I attempt to be. I don't like covering drama between people that I'm very close personally with. Because I think it distorts my perception of it. And sometimes I might know more about it than the public does, or I might have a different perspective on it based off of private information. And in the same way that a judge would recuse themselves from a trial, I like to recuse myself from covering topics and drama around people that I'm personally close with, right? So it's conflict of interest, right? And so I'll tell you, like, right now, that is also a big factor. If advertisers keep leaving, do you think Twitch will have to eventually shut down? No, I do not think Twitch will shut down. What I think Twitch will do is Twitch will continuously make half measures. So this is the problem, is that Twitch is in a very, very delicate situation. And let me explain what the delicate situation is. A lot of especially leftist political rhetoric is extremist, but the people that are talking about it and expressing that viewpoint do not believe that it is extremist. So the issue is that they don't want to categorize extremist language as extremist language, because in doing so, it makes the people that are using the extremist language, it aggroes them. That's kind of what happens. Lost in the sauce, exactly. And so they don't want to categorize it like that. They don't want to say that they want to be against extremism, because if they do that, what will end up happening is then they'll get all those people mad at them, right? No more half measures, exactly. So they will continuously, basically, it's the same thing as they do with, like, OnlyFans girls, right? Where they continuously, like, stop symptoms of the problem because they're afraid of approaching the disease. And I'm not saying that, like, leftist extremism is a disease, by the way. But what I'm saying is that that is the real fundamental place that a lot of this animosity comes from, which is true. It is true. It's the same as, like, OnlyFans girls. It is? Well, that's fine. That's your right to say that. I'm not going to ban people for that. It's whatever. But my point is that, can you guys see where my perspective is coming from here? Because there's a bit of nuance to this, and I just want to make sure we're communicating it in the right way. Yes, okay. Right, and so that's pretty much what's happening. I think that advertisers, from Twitch's perspective, will hopefully stop leaving after this. And if enough advertisers stop leaving, then Twitch will effectively... Twitch basically is trying to do the minimum amount of effort in order to make this problem go away. Because the more that they moderate, the smaller that they make their audience. Like, for example, if they ban all of the political streamers, That's a large amount of viewers that aren't going to their platform. They don't want to do that. So in their perspective, if you look at this purely from a business, take ideology out of the picture, you look at this purely from a business perspective, you will see that, of course, they want to keep everybody on the platform because that's what's best for their business. So all they want to do is do the minimum requirement to where advertisers stop leaving, and then they can keep going. They want to ban as few people as possible. Maybe they just don't want to ban Hassan before the election. I don't know about that. I have no idea. But either way, that's really kind of what I'm saying. They're a corporation. They're explicitly a profit-making entity. So Amazon, and I want to also talk about this from the perspective of Amazon. Amazon will not drop Twitch. Amazon has a tremendous, incredible, massive value with Twitch, and they're not going to sell that out unless they abso-fucking-lutely have to. And the reason why is that if you look at live streaming market share, and you look at especially live streaming market share in the perspective of video games, Amazon has a market majority in that space. And that is a space that has had projected growth year over year. And the social media space is still growing, although it's not 20% every year, right after COVID, because COVID kind of accelerated that growth curve. Twitch has an incredible value Amazon has an incredible value with Twitch. How big is Amazon? 1.6 trillion, I think. It could be 1,560 billion. Let me see. It's gone up. It's gone up $300 billion. So, do you guys all remember, for a lot of the old guys that are, been watching Twitch for a long time, do you remember when Recful made, like, the, the 10,000 category? So, like, let's just go ahead. We're going to do, and he, like, showed how small $10,000 is. I can't do it like that. But I'll do it like this. So how small would a dot have to be? Because how much did Twitch buy Amazon? Sorry, how much did Amazon buy Twitch for? I think it was $1 or $2 billion. Now I would value Twitch at probably $3 to $5 billion. Maybe somewhere around there, right? Maybe $2 billion. Let's say it's $2 billion. So $2 billion, that means that it is 1/1000th of Amazon's size. You see it? It's nothing. It's just like, it's so infinitesimally small that Amazon's accounting and rounding errors pay for Twitch. And also, it's not that Amazon is losing $1 billion on Twitch. Twitch is making some money. It just might not be making a profitable amount of money. So then you take that, because like we're assuming a 100% net loss, right? Because it's a minus 1 billion. But let's assume that they're making back 70% of their revenue. Well, okay, so you're losing $300 million. Usually that's a lot of money. But whenever you're Amazon, it's, again, you take, this is, all right, let's go back. Let's say that they're making half the money back from Twitch. Okay. It's nothing. It's literally nothing. So, Mr. Beast tweet, I'll take a look at it right now. Yeah, it's nothing. So, I don't think that that they're going to get rid of it at all. And I think that would be a bad decision for them to do it. Okay, yeah, we're going to take a look at the Mr. Beast stuff in just a minute, but let me wrap this up, okay? My point is here that Amazon has such a massive first mover advantage in the live streaming market inside of Western audiences that that advantageous strategic market position is worth infinitely more than Twitch's value as a company. And Amazon being able to activate based off of that strategic position is worth like multiples of what Twitch is worth. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And I don't think that Amazon is going to sell Twitch at any time. I think if they did, I would be absolutely fucking shocked. Because, yeah, one AWS server farm makes more than Twitch. That's exactly right. And also, you want to talk about AWS server farms. AWS, 30% of Amazon revenue? Let me see here. Amazon, AWS. How much does Amazon make from AWS? Okay, wait. 17%. 17 billion. Okay, so 17%, not 30%. I overestimated. But yeah, it's still a lot, right? So AWS, look at this number, right? $143 billion. That's why Amazon isn't going to cut kickoff. So Amazon is actually, this is a really, really weird parallel. And I want you guys to think about this because it sounds so insane and so ridiculous. But when it's explained to you, it's going to be just as funny as it is to me. Amazon is probably happier that Kick exists than Twitch exists in terms of AWS. Because Amazon is probably giving some degree of discounted rate to Twitch, or at least they have to eat the difference that they have to make. Whereas Kick, they are selling AWS to Kick at a market value rate. So it doesn't matter what happens. They're making a huge amount of money, and the other one, they don't have to worry about the opportunity cost of Kick. It's a huge fucking difference. It's an outlier cost. I don't think you completely understand. I don't think you completely encompass the damage Twitch can do to Amazon. I don't think that you understand how little that matters. Nobody really gives a fuck. Really, like they don't. Like it doesn't really matter. It's like it's nothing. I get what you're saying, and you're saying that the PR from this is going to make Amazon look bad. Amazon will probably do nothing about this. They're such a massive company. Twitch is so small compared to Amazon that it will not even move the needle. Twitch is not the Amazon. Yeah, I'm just being honest, right? And like, I'm just trying to look at the numbers and trying to like be accurate and fair about the numbers. I'm not trying to have my own opinion in this. This is just what I'm seeing, what I'm showing from where the numbers are at. That's it. It's not even a grain of sand. Exactly. So anyway, that's pretty much what's going on. Amazon is not going to drop Twitch. I really don't think that's going to happen. If it did, I would be massively fucking wrong. I don't expect it at all. So that's what I think. I'll read a few more comments and I want to move on. But why support something unprofitable? So you make up a really good point here. And so let me explain it because this is definitely a learning point for a lot of people not to understand. So there's a term that's used in business. It's called a loss leader. A loss leader is a product or a service that serves as a way to get people into your product ecosystem that doesn't necessarily make money by itself. So a lot of loss leaders, for example, in grocery stores are essential items like eggs, milk, bread, things like that. These things are priced at pretty much market value. And the reason why is because they're in the back of the store. Notice that, right? The loss leaders are in the back of the store. Because the reason why is because in the process of going from the back of the store to the back of the store, you see all of the different shirts, ice cream, cookies. Oh, wow. And now you're buying all of these things. So and this is the same reason why Kick can exist inside of the ecosystem of Stake, because you're looking at it from a smaller perspective than Amazon is looking at it. So if you look at the way that a lot of people, and I'm going like off into like a bunch of tangents with this, but I hope that everybody can see kind of like how all this fits together. If you look at like in terms of like tremendous, incredible, amazing wealth, we're talking about Amazon. We're talking about Steve Jobs. We're talking about J.D. Rockefeller. We're talking about Carnegie. We're talking about Vanderbilt. We're talking about Henry Ford. We're talking about, I think, also Tesla with Elon Musk to a lesser extent. Let me think, maybe a couple more of them. Those are, I've got 7, right? That's good enough. The key indicator when you are creating tremendous amounts of value is to have something that is referred to as vertical integration. That is where you control the entire process of how your product receives or is sent to its end user. Every one of those examples, controlled and monopolized. I think Apple is the best example that we all know of. Obviously, you could look at like J.D. Rockefeller with like the way that he had pipes and like, you know, to avoid railroads, etc. Creating an ecosystem in which your products can exist that cause your other products to have more value. Like Amazon Prime has Twitch Prime. Wow. 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 That's huge, right? So they don't make money by themselves, but they contribute to an ecosystem that is stronger as a whole, and that indicator and that small component acts as a force multiplier to the rest of that ecosystem. It's that simple. It's a marketing strategy. In an abstract sense, yes. Let's convince Elon to buy Twitch. I don't know about that. So that's the way I see it. This analysis is factually incorrect. Oh, well, I mean, then I'd have to look and see why, right? But not to mention they have good leverage whenever they're going to be accused of monopoly for streaming. Yes, of course. Amazon already has the value of Twitch's technology through IVS. They don't need them anymore. If you see Amazon discontinue Luna, then be very afraid for Twitch. I don't know enough about Luna to have an opinion on that, to be honest with you. So maybe you're right. People confuse home economics with business and market economics. Yeah, sure, of course. Right? Because like it's the same reason why like Unity had so much trouble, right? Where like other companies just put out an apology and it doesn't matter. Like business to business economics is totally different. So yeah. I subbed Amazon Prime and my subscription ran out, thinking of renewing it when you enable subbing to your stream. Exactly. And so that's pretty much the way that I see it. And that's the reason why Twitch is profitable, because it's profitable inside of an ecosystem. It's the same reason why Kick is profitable inside of the ecosystem of Stake. So yeah, it's very simple. Pretty simple economics, pretty simple business, right? But a lot of people aren't as familiar with it. So yeah, there you go. And that's what I think is going to happen. I'll read a few comments and I want to move over and talk about the Mr. Beast stuff. So yeah, if you're going to start a business, what would it be? I don't know. Maybe I'd start a business for like an agency on Twitch, or maybe like a computer company. Like, I don't know. I have to really think about it. Maybe like a games publishing company too. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, it could be anything, right? Yeah, I have no idea.